What's up, guys? Welcome back to Life of Speed. Today we are working on the 73 Corvette again, and we are going to be installing adjustable rear radius rods. I'm replacing the original radius rods because I found one was bent, and when I have the opportunity to use these on one of these cars, I like to do that because they have polyurethane bushings, they are easier to adjust, and they are stronger. So that's important because I like to make sure that I get the camber on these cars as little negative camber as I could possibly have, because these cars always look like crap when their butt is sagging on the ground and they have a ton of negative camber. It just totally ruins the look of the car, and when I'm fixing this car for this guy, I want to make sure I get that right. So I will show you the adjustable radius rod that I bought from Eckler's, and then how to remove and install them and adjust them. Alright, let's get after it. I already have the cross member out of the way that connects to the diff cover. I already have the shocks out. What we are going to do first is we are going to take this castle nut here loose, and that bolt that goes through there actually is to mount the shock. You can see on that side there is where the shock mounts. These bolts that go through here aren't necessarily a bolt, it's more like a stud. And it has a flat on one side, so that bolt actually does not turn. And the reason for that is it keeps the shock bolt in that horizontal position. Problem with this car is it's fairly rusty, so more than likely that stud that goes through there is going to be seized. So what we're going to do is, here is your eccentric, which is normally what you use to adjust the camber. We are going to take that loose and knock the radius rod here loose and try to wiggle it up and down in order to get it loose on that end and get that stud out. If that doesn't work, we'll probably use a little bit of heat persuasion, and hopefully that'll be enough to get it out for us. You can see on this side here with the light, you can see that radius rod is bent right there. So that is why I opted to replace these in the first place. Pretty chintzy deal, honestly. The new radius rods are a lot better. So yeah, let's get after it. Not too bad. It wasn't as stuck as I thought. You can clearly see how that's bent pretty good, and then these bushings in here look like they're a little worse for wear. We'll probably be fine, but the new radius rods with the poly bushings are going to be a lot better. So here's the radius rod itself. Here's the inner bolt assembly. See, you got your nut, lock washer, your eccentric bolt, or your eccentric washer on the back side. See how it's got a flat there, and it's offset, so when you turn this, it will give you more. It'll give you more negative caster or more positive caster, depending on where you adjust it. A couple washers to go inside of the bushing to get the spacing right, and then the back side eccentric washer, which is attached to the bolt. Now, you won't be using this assembly or arrangement anymore with the new ones. They come with little square block off plates, and it just bolts straight through because the bar itself is adjustable. And here is your outer stud. A lot of times you can leave this castle nut on and hit it to kind of bust it loose. If you mess the threads up too bad, you'll just have to chase them. Or you can get these as replacements. I think they're $15 a piece or something like that from Eckler's. But I'm going to try and reuse these. On the other side. So here's the old assemblies next to the new assemblies. Like I said before, we are replacing these eccentrics here with these square plates so that way they can't adjust. Where they actually adjust now is in the bar here. There's a little notch for a wrench, and they have left and right-handed thread on the end of the bar, so that way the ends of the bar stay in place and you just twist the bar in or out to give yourself more or less camber. Excuse me. So yeah, just throw them in. So there you are, guys. Finally installed. The only things I would add, that Eckler's actually sent me 1/2" 20 fine thread bolts with 1/2" 13 coarse thread nuts. So I used the old nuts off of the old eccentrics. I still might change them over just because it kind of bugs me having the old nut on all the new hardware, but I might leave it, not really sure yet. The only other thing I would advise is in here, applying a little anti-seize to the threads on either end, and that way you ain't gonna gall the threads. When you adjust these, of course, you really only should have to adjust them, once. So it's not like you're going to be adjusting them all the time like you would on coilover shocks on a drag car or something like that. So, yep, there they are. Pretty sweet looking hardware and all the old rusty junk, but they do the job. So would definitely recommend them if you are working on a C3. Definitely worth the money. Alright, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Alright, guys, so I wanted to do a little addendum to this video. First, I know a lot of you are going to say it, why is the diff cover off, why is the spring out, why are the shocks out? The diff cover was leaking, so I already took it off, took the rear leaf spring out, and I thought, well, since all that shit's out of the way to begin with, it's just easier to do it now. And the shocks obviously are old and need to be replaced, so those were out as well. Secondly, I am not doing how-to videos on my channel. That's not really what I'm trying to do. This video would have been 45 minutes long if I was doing a blow-by-blow on how to replace these things. I just wanted to give you a general idea of what it took to replace these, and to show you, a better alternative to what normally is used on these cars, if you care about aesthetics and performance and what have you. Lastly, what I'm trying to show you is this is something that your normal 9-to-5 guy has to do in order to fund the racing or fund the hot rodding or whatever. You gotta bust your ass, you gotta take on side jobs, and this is also, doing this type of thing in order to pay for what you like to do is also how you increase your skill set and knowledge. So just like I said, a little addendum or side note to this video, because like I said, I know I can have some people going, what the heck. So, alright, thanks. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for upcoming content.